Hello, and a very warm welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now, before I begin, could I please ask that if you enjoy my content to like and subscribe, as it does help videos reach more viewers on YouTube. There is no doubt Greece is a beautiful country with so much to offer. However, in parts of the country, real estate has become expensive over the last few years or so. That said, there are still many places where property is very affordable. Unfortunately, this is not the case on the beautiful islands of Santorini and Mykonos. In prime Santorini, property can easily cost 10,000 euros per square meter. And in Mykonos, 7,000 euros per square meter for prime property is not unheard of. The nearby islands of Paros and Naxos are also expensive. In past videos, I have put Salonika in the top five, but prices have shot up over the last 2 years, and average real estate prices are now nearly 2,500 euros per square meter on average. Before I reveal my top five, I want to give some honorable mentions to places that didn't quite make the cut, but are definitely still worth considering. Samos and Lesbos have had issues with migrants, and some may be put off by the proximity to Turkey. But property on both islands average only 1,000 euros per square meter. The Peloponnese, Kefalonia, and the relatively unknown but lovely town of Astoria in northern Greece, with incredibly cheap property prices, are also worth considering. Anyway, here are my top five, and please let me know in the comments below whether you agree or disagree and why. So, coming in at number five is Evia. Now, it will come as a surprise to many that Evia is the second largest island of Greece. It is, though, linked to the mainland of Greece with two bridges. Evia is very underrated. It has wonderful beaches, monuments, delicious food, and a very pleasant climate. It has around 220,000 inhabitants and a coastline of nearly 50 kilometers. Evia is rich in history, and it's only about an hour's drive from Athens, or about an hour by train. It is actually a very popular holiday destination for Athenians, but more often than not, overlooked by overseas tourists, many of whom have never even heard of the island. Now, on many Greek islands, activity shuts down in the winter, but not here. Restaurants, in particular in the capital, Halkitha, are full in the winter as well as the summer. Best of all, property prices here are cheap. So across the island, they only average 1,350 euros per square meter. And even in the capital, Halkitha, property only costs around 1,500 euros per square meter on average. And in all honesty, I think that would be the best place to buy property on the island. And as said, the city is full of life year round. This city of around 60,000 residents has its own hospital, lovely restaurants, seaside bars, and plenty of shops. Other places worth considering are the resort of Adipsos and the small coastal town of Limni, where property prices are actually very cheap. They only average 1,200 euros per square meter. So, coming in at number four is Athens. Now, in the last video I made on the best five places to buy property in Greece, Athens came out in first place. Since then, prices have increased, but a couple of other things have happened as well. Firstly, the golden visa rules have changed, meaning that you now need to spend at least 800,000 euros on a property in Athens to qualify for the golden visa. A second change is that a 1 year ban in Athens' most popular areas has been introduced for the registration of new apartments for short term rentals. Two well known areas affected are the historic centre and Plaka. I therefore feel that Athens is not as obvious a city to put your money in the real estate market as it once was. However, there are still many positive things to say about Athens. Firstly, in the center, the west, and the east, average prices are still well under 2,500 euros per square meter on average. So there are still many parts of Athens that are cheap to buy property. Athens is an amazing city with over 3 million people, and the population is still increasing, and it's also very densely populated. And Athens, as well, is a hub for international travel. From Athens airport, you can fly to numerous destinations, both in Europe and beyond. And Athens also has the largest passenger port in Europe. It also has a metro tram bus and a suburban electric train system. And numerous projects have also transformed Athens into a global modern metropolis. So I still think Athens is worth considering. Now, coming in at number three is Xanthi. Situated in the region of Thrace in northeast Greece, and with a population of around 74,000, Zanthi is known for being a party city, not least because of its high student population. If you're into your bars, cafes, restaurants, and nightclubs, you will find no shortage of them here. Zanthi is not just a party city, it also has a really rich history. So it is steeped in history with over 1,000 listed buildings. It also has a number of festivals every year and is quite a sporty city with numerous sports teams. Zanthi has a university and it also has good medical facilities. And from an investment perspective, Zanthi is an interesting prospect because the population here is continuously rising. Back in 91, there were 38,000 people living here. In less than 25 years, the population has almost doubled, which is obviously good for the real estate market. Transport wise, Zanthi has a bus station, a railway station, and the nearest airport is Kavala Airport, which is just over 40 kilometers away. Now, this airport has flights to several German cities and Vienna in Austria. Otherwise, Salonika Airport is just over 200 kilometers away. Given all this, I think property prices at around 1,250 euros per square meter on average are very good value for money. And whereas in many parts of Greece, property prices have seen double digit growth, Xanthi has seen much less growth in the last year or so. So we are talking around 6%. So I still think Xanthi is good for the real estate market. Now, coming in at number two is Corfu. Now, on the beautiful island of Corfu, property prices have barely risen over the last year or so and now stand at a very reasonable average of around 2,100 euros per square meter. It is so much cheaper here than islands like Santorini and Mykonos. Corfu has much to offer. It is steeped in history, with the old town in Corfu city being a World Heritage Site. And for those who love archaeological sites, Corfu is a true paradise. There are also many castles, libraries, and theatres, and the infrastructure here is excellent, such as the roads, which are very, very good here. There are regular buses on the island, international ferries to Italy, as well as other Greek islands, and of course, Saranda in Albania. And Corfu also has an international airport which flies to numerous destinations in Europe, as well as Dubai and Tel Aviv, although, of course, many flights here are seasonal. Other lovely things that this island of nearly 100,000 offers are some wonderful churches and monasteries, beaches with crystal clear waters, numerous good restaurants, several market chains, and very friendly people. Corfu also has good medical facilities, and the winters here are quite mild. And the summers are actually not excessively hot when you compare them to the mainland of Greece. So this can also be seen for me as an advantage. I believe that going forward, property prices here will rise quite significantly in the future, perhaps more towards Mykonos. Anyway, coming in at number one, and this may surprise you, is Heraklion. Now, Heraklion is a lovely port city and the capital of the Greek island of Crete. It has an estimated population of around 155,000 and as a city has a lot to offer. It is incredibly rich in history and you can find traces of the Minoan, Venetian, Byzantine and Ottoman eras in the city and around. The Knossos Palace is the most famous site in Crete. And when it comes to living the Mediterranean lifestyle, Heraklion has it all: delicious food, fantastic weather, impressive nature, and very friendly locals. Nearby, there are some spectacular beaches, and overall, it's an extremely safe city. The winters here are mild, and even the summers are not excessively hot. So it is definitely a place where you can live the whole year round. Another big advantage is that a new airport is due to open here in 2027, and it is expected to be the second busiest airport in Greece. I think that this will have a positive effect on house prices. Talking about real estate prices in Heraklion, there are only around 1,550 euros per square meter in the prefecture, and prices have only gone up by around 3% or so in the last year. Now, compare this to Hanya, where property prices over the last year have gone up by 10%. And look at this as well. In Hanya, in the prefecture, property prices average 2,400 euros per square meter. So much, much more expensive than Heraklion. So I think this does put Heraklion in a very, very good light compared to Hanya in Crete. And indeed, I think it puts it in a very good light compared to many, many other cities in Greece. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Do you agree or disagree? Please let me know in the comments below because I actually think Heraklion is actually a hidden gem in Greece and property prices will go up. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks ever so much for watching and I shall see you soon on the next video.